Welcome back to my channel, guys. I'm so excited to film this video. This video is 10 things that motivate me or make me feel good, and it's made up of quotes, life lessons, or things that have just someone said to me and it's just stuck. Some of these 10 things have a story attached to them, so grab yourself a snack, get comfortable, because we're gonna get straight on into it. Now, number one, it's kind of a big bomb to drop at the start, but here it is. Number one, you're going to die. If anything motivates me or pushes me to do all of the crazy things that I think about, it's this. One day I'm going to be sitting on my deathbed and I want to be sitting there thinking, geez, I really did have a crack, didn't I? I did all of the crazy things that I wanted to do. I didn't let anyone's opinions or my own personal fears ever stop me. I really lived life to the fullest, and that's where sometimes when I remind myself that like one day I'm gonna die, it really pushes me to like make the most out of my life. And it's not something that I think about often because I think that would be kind of morbid, and there is an aspect to this that is really motivating and really empowering, and I think once you hit that, that's where it helps you. The average death age in Australia in 2017 was 82.5. So if I live to the point where I'm 82 and a half years old, I'm almost 30. Like, oh my God, it just like blows my mind that like, I don't have a lot of time and I just wanna do all of the stuff that I wanna do. I wanna be able to spend as much time as I can with my family. Like, it just puts things in perspective, and that is why it's number one on this list. Number two, don't let fear stop you from doing the things that you wanna do. For example, say if you want to go to a gym class, but you're nervous because you don't want to go by yourself, all that sort of stuff, go and fucking do the class. Like, don't let stupid fear stop you from doing the things that you want to do, because it's so stupid. Like, you don't need a friend to go with you everywhere to hold your hand. Like, there is something very empowering when you overcome a fear. For example, I wanted to do my own independent travel. I have traveled around Australia before. I've gone to the Gold Coast on solo trips, but I wanted to do something more. I wanted to go somewhere internationally, so I went to Bali. Now, I've been to Bali multiple times, so it wasn't somewhere new and foreign to me. But having 2 weeks by myself in a foreign country was just like the most empowering thing. I could do whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, and yeah. Don't let fear control your life. Like, don't be scared to try new things. Just go and do it. What's the worst that can happen? Number three is you choose your mood. So when I was in my full-time job, we had a personal development day that I actually missed out on. So a couple of weeks later, I then had to do this personal development day, and it was with this ex-army guy who came into the workplace, and me and this other girl missed out on the original personal development day, so we were doing it together. And one of the tasks we had to do is we had to close our eyes, and he started asking all these probing questions, and he was like, I want you to think about a time in your life where you were really sad or you were really upset or something had really affected you. And we had our eyes closed, and he's asking all of these different probing questions about how did we feel, what was it, like heaps and heaps of questions. This probably went on for about 5 minutes. And then at the end of the 5 minutes, he said, now open your eyes. And I'm sitting opposite the other girl, and we both opened our eyes, and we were both feeling really glum and really down and really like not happy, like really down. And he was like, right, now we sort of spoke about it for a little bit. We didn't talk about what the actual situations were, but he was like, now close your eyes again. And we closed our eyes, and he did the same thing, but he said, now tell me a time when you were really happy. And then he asked all those same probing questions, and that again went on for about 5 minutes. Then we opened our eyes, and we were both like looking at each other, smiling, like fully smiling. And he was like, how do you feel? And I was saying like, I feel really good, I feel really positive, really happy, all this sort of stuff. And even in our body language, you could just tell we were much happier. And he was like, in the space of 10 minutes, you've completely shifted your mood. And Ma was like, oh my God, we have. Like, when you choose, you get to choose what you focus on, and what you focus on not only affects your thoughts, but it affects your entire like mood, your whole aura, like everything about you. And I think of that often. Whenever I'm in a bad mood, I'm like, okay, why am I in a bad mood? What is it? What is it that's like making me think this way? And I 99.9% of the time can flick myself out of it. And probably the 1.01% that I can't is when I'm hormonal and I'm a crazy psycho. But other than that, Yeah, you choose your mood, and once you start to really understand that, I feel like your world just opens up. Number 4 is it's your life, do what's best for you. Your friends, your family, your work colleagues, they're not you. Don't let other people tell you what you should be doing. You need to be confident in yourself, and you need to figure out what makes you happy. What would you love to wake up every morning and be doing, and then start doing things that put you on a pathway to doing those things. For example, I have always wanted to work for myself. I've never wanted to have a boss all the time. Obviously I had my full-time job, but I've also had so many small businesses. If I listened to everyone's negative opinions about me starting a business, I would never have started one. Instead, what I did is I took them on board and said, thanks for your feedback, and then I ignored them. What this has allowed me to do now is I work for myself. I don't have a boss. I don't have a manager. I work solely for myself, and I'm so glad that I never listened to anyone else's opinions. And obviously, like, even when I was being made redundant from my full-time job, I had a lot of people being like, oh, so have you started applying for jobs? Have you got another job to go to? All this kind of stuff. And I was like, no, I'm really content with what I'm doing now. And I know that my businesses will support me. I just want you to start thinking about, what do you want your life to look like? And start living that and start working towards that, because as I said at the start, you only get one life and one day you're gonna die. Start living your life how you picture it to be. Number 5, you can't buy time. Now, I think this will probably hit home for a lot of people, especially due to all the crappy stuff that's happening in 2020 surrounding COVID-19. A few years ago, I realized that I was working too much. I was working full time, I had all of my different businesses, and I wasn't making time for the things that I loved, like activities that I love doing, sport, family, friends, like socializing, I guess. I was really just knuckling down, being like, I want to earn more and more money so that I get to a point where I don't have to be working as much and I can spend more time with my family. But you can't buy time. And something that I've definitely realized throughout the last few years is that I needed to have more of a balance. And that is something that I actively work on all the time now. But 2020 has made that especially hard, because obviously not being able to see family and friends, being in a state that's gone through lockdown twice, has been very difficult. But I think going forward, just make sure in whatever you're doing that you're prioritizing the things that you love, and whilst also working, but like making sure there is like a good split between the two, because as I said in point 1, you're gonna die one day, and along with that, so are the people that you love. It's not sad, it's not morbid, it's just a part of life. That's just what life is. But making sure that you spend as much time as you really want to with those loved ones, whilst also having a decent balance between work and downtime, is so important. And it's definitely something that I've really learned to nurture over the last few years. Number 6 is stressing is pointless. Now, I am so grateful for this lesson that I learned. My stepdad is a detective, and I remember him telling me about stress. And like, he obviously worked in a very stressful job, but he told me years ago that stressing is pointless. And the way that I look at it is if you have a problem, say if you have a problem, instead of stressing over it and dwelling on it for like ages, think of it this way, think of it logically. Can I do anything to fix this thing that's stressing me? If yes, go and do it. If you can't do anything, then stop stressing about it. Let it go. Like, just be content that whatever is happening and you can't do anything about it, so let it go. I know it's not easy, but the more you work on this sort of stuff, the easier it gets. Number 7 is you can change your life at any point in time. Do not let your age stop you from ever changing your life. If you want to go back to uni at 45, you can do it. If you want to pack up and move to Italy, you can do it. If you want to pack up and move to another state of Australia to live by the beach and have a dog and do whatever the fuck you want to do, you can do it. This is a good example, actually. My sister Greta has transformed multiple vans, and she's traveled all around Australia, and she documents a lot on her Instagram page. I'll flick it up here and you can go and check it out. Gret is living this fantastic life. She lives by the beach, she has her van that she renovates, she travels often, she works in casual jobs, she's also studying. And every now and again when I'm out and about and I see people, they'll always be like, oh gee, Greta looks like she's having the best time. And I'm like, you could go and do that. You could pack up your life and you could go and travel around in a van, and you can go and start uni, and you can move up to the Gold Coast. Like, you can do all of these things if you really set your mind to it. It's not that hard. You can change your life at any time. Number 8, those that matter don't mind, and those that mind don't matter. I'll repeat that again for you. Those that matter don't mind, and those that mind don't matter. What this means is that your closest group of people who fully support you in everything that you do don't care about what you're doing. They're gonna support you regardless. But then there is that flip side of those people that maybe aren't that supportive in your life, and they do mind, and they nitpick at things, and they make you feel like what you're doing isn't a good idea. A story to sort of tie this in is, I remember when I first started doing my eyelash extension business, and a lot of people, including some friends, were kind of like, oh, why is she doing that? Like, made me feel kind of a little bit self-conscious about putting myself out there and starting a business at the age of 21. And I'm really glad that I didn't let that affect me. I just continued doing what I was doing, because now we've been in business 8 years and my lash business is a very successful business. So don't let the opinions of others stop you, because those that matter don't mind, and those that mind do not fucking matter. Number 9 is become self-aware and figure out what your pillars are. So what I mean by this is, I think over probably the last maybe 3 years, I've become really self-aware, and probably especially a lot in this last 12 months of COVID and all that sort of stuff, is becoming self-aware of what makes me feel good and what makes me happy. And if I want to have like a really good day, what do I need to do in order to do that? And I've come up with these 3 pillars. And usually if I'm in like an off mood or something doesn't feel right, I can usually go through these pillars, and if one of them is off, then I'm like, that's what it is. So my 3 pillars are a clean space, have I exercised, and am I eating healthy? If for any reason I feel kind of off, maybe my room's a mess, maybe I've been eating junk food, or maybe I haven't gone for a walk or done some sort of exercise lately. If any of those 3 pillars are off, then I will usually be able to tie whatever issue I'm having down to one of those. Because usually when all of those 3 things are going well, when my room's clean and my office is clean, when I've been exercising, and when I've been eating healthy, I feel fantastic. I feel so good. My life feels like it's on track. I don't feel down and glum. But anytime those 3 things are out, I'm kind of like, okay, that's what it is. So have a think about the things that really affect you. For a very long time, I didn't realize the impact a messy space can have, but my God, it changes everything. Like I know it's not OCD, but like I feel so cluttered when my office is a mess, or like my bedroom is a mess, or like the bathroom's a mess. Like when everything's clean and everything's in place and everything's organized, I just feel so much better. So yeah, that's something to think about. Number 10 is lists are everything. Anyone who knows me well knows that I am crazy for a good list. I love a to-do list. I love a spreadsheet. There is nothing wrong with this. What I recommend doing, this is one list that I think everyone should go and write, is write a list of all the things you want to do. Whether it's travel that you want to do, or a class that you want to do. Kind of like a bucket list, I guess, of things that you want to do, so that whenever you're feeling uninspired or not really sure what you want to be doing in life, go back to this list and be like, you know what, this year I'm going to tick this off, and this is what I need to do to get there. For example, let's say on your list of things, pre-COVID, you wanted to travel to Italy, right? Before the world all went crazy. You want to travel to Italy and you want to go for 2 months. What do you need to do that 2 months of travel? You need to save. You need to figure out work. Are you going to take leave? Are you going to resign? Are you renting a house right now? Who will rent that? So many different things you need to think of, but like if you have it written down in a list, I have a list. I have this list, and it's like kind of a goals list. Oh my God, I have so many lists. I just recommend writing stuff down, and putting it in a list format just makes everything clearer and concise, and is a really good way to keep you on track. And for me, it keeps me really motivated. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope you've been able to take at least one of the points and implement it into your life. I have found that over the years, all these little things that I've learned really do make me me, and have really helped me get to where I am today. So if you guys have any points that you want to share with me, please leave them in the comments below. If you do have any questions, please ask them, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.